Hello and welcome to my first tier list video. I've prepared 4 tier lists for the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy maps, and also there's some elusive targets and bonus maps in there. I hope you enjoy. First off, we'll be going over the Freelancer uh, type maps. I also combined the other maps as if they were featured in Freelancer. Then there's gonna be the contracts variant, then there's gonna be the main targets plus the map, and lastly the atmosphere version. So first version of the tier list is the Freelancer one. Let me just check. Yes, this is the first one, and you can just take a picture if you want. You can just look over it, and I'll just slowly, not slowly, I'll try to go as fast as I can and look over it. And we have, so this is the Freelancer version. I know Carpathian Mountains isn't in Freelancer, but it would be bad, probably worse than Freedom Fighters, because the exit would be far away. They would have to create new exits, and the targets would be, in a linear path, so it would be very repetitive, probably the same thing going on over and over again. And that kind of feels like Hitman, but not, you don't really want that. The bad category has Patient Zero, the source, Bruce Lee in Bangkok. Essentially it's Bangkok and Patient Zero for Freelancer. I think Patient Zero might have potential if they open up the map a bit more. Next up is Chasing a Ghost and Shadows in the Water. I don't really like these. The targets, there's guards everywhere. Some of the guards are enforcers, especially the ones you don't want. You're kind of restricted because of those enforcers. You can't really shoot your way because there's guards everywhere. And it makes having, a one target contract where you just want to shoot one guy out in the open. It could go your way, but you could get a shootout. Maybe you live, but in a showdown where, all those guards lock down your target, it's not the best. Not your target necessarily, but the other suspects. Next up is the functional category. Three-headed serpent, a gilded cage, the icon, house built on sand, the garden show, a variety of Dartmoor with Death and a Family, and the Venera. So I think Marrakesh can even be a bit higher, but it's lower, just because you have to go out of your way. The open areas, you can't really shoot your way there. You can, but I mean, it's not really safe. Then guards get alerted pretty easily. You can still secret if you go onto the rooftops, even if you have targets that are out in the open. You can even try and snipe them from the top rooftops, from the top of the buildings. And I think End of an Era, I don't really hate it that much, but I don't really enjoy it for Freelancer. Same goes for Death of the Family, so that's why they're a bit down. The Farewell, it has the bonus for that suit. So in Freelancer you have a certain area that's a bit more accessible. Last Resort is not the best for Freelancer, but you see where I put it. I like the Arghh Society, so that's why it's impassable. You get items, though it's a bit restrictive, so that's why it's not higher. It's it's more restrictive than Dubai, so that's why it's lower than Dubai. Same goes for Finish Line Fair. You can get around Miami pretty easily compared to the Arghh Society. It's also easier to get the um, to get the recording device on Miami. I mean, it's easy in Arghh Society as well, but not if you start at the top. So yeah, I think freedom training and final test would be really cool for Freelancer, because they're small maps and you'd have a lot of fun. I really would have fun in all these maps. I guess landslide might get downgraded if I have trouble with it, but as it stands, I think, yeah, I think it's pretty good. And the amazing variant to be added would be the Slim Shady, I think, variant of Hokkaido. If they would add it to Freelancer, I think it would be pretty good. Some more variety, and the best ones I think are New York and Whittleton Creek, as it stands right now in Freelancer. And if they would add Night Call, it would be a very easy map, and you wouldn't really have trouble with it. So next up is the contracts variant. So let me just zoom out a bit so you can see. This would be the contracts variant with the tier list. Same maps, just put in a different order. And I'm gonna go over them right now. At the very bottom, creating contracts on Carpathian Mountains, the Splitter, the Mills, Revive, or Patient Zero would probably be bad, or not as exciting. And then we go on the icon. I think Slim Shady could be a bit higher. Yeah, I think it's probably decent to create a contract on it. Maybe even amazing. It depends on your creativity. I actually don't remember that much. Oh, I think I put it lower because you can go through those mirrors. I think that's, yeah, I think that's why. I think that's why it's here, because of those mirrors. Though, so it would be amazing for a freelancer, because it will be helpful, but the mirrors kind of give you too much freedom, I guess. I don't know. Flawed would be final test. I actually created contracts on this map. It's not the worst, but it's right there with a house built on sand and the author. Functional, we get the Bruce Lee at every Bangkok map, the landslide, night call. I think night call is a bit better. I've actually created some contracts on it from where I remember. It's not that bad. And freedom training as well. Though to be fair, I think what follows is definitely better than night call and freedom training, so maybe I'll just do like this. And there we go. I've solved the issue. So passable. Why is... I don't have any questions about passable. Decent. Three-headed serpent. Shadows in the water. Three-headed serpents here. I'm questioning myself right now. Is Three-Headed Serpent worse than Shadows in the Water when it comes to creating contracts on it? Or playing contracts on it? I think they're kind of the same, really. Should make an in-between category just for them. Because, yeah, I think Mumbai is a bit better than both. And Gilded Cage... Yeah, I think Gilded Cage is a bit worse when it comes to creating contracts. Though I guess it depends on the creativity level. I think Shadows in the Water and Three-Headed Serpent have a bit more NPCs that move around, so you can put more targets that have a larger patrol area. I guess you could in Gilded Cage as well, you trigger the alarm and the guards that follow your target to the school. I guess you could put them as a contract and possibly create a cool contract like that. I don't know. You have to mix in some other targets as well. And maybe, yeah, I guess there's the option. There's definitely variety here. Same goes for Arghh Society. The next tier of cool, I think these are here just because the maps are good, and so they have a lot of NPCs. Not necessarily that move around that much, but could definitely find some way to move the NPCs around, I guess, on your own. The amazing category, again, it's just for the maps. There's a lot of variants on Paris. You can create a lot of chaos on Paris with the fireworks. And the best one for the best maps for contracts, I think, are the Snow Festival and Citus and Versus, Whittleton Creek with Another Life, and World of Tomorrow from Sapienza. Next up is the main maps combined with the targets. So in this category I'm ranking the targets, but also the map itself. If the targets move around a bit, it's a bit better. That's why Carpathian Mountain has a target that's interesting, but he stays still, he's at the end of the map. Not really amazing. Same goes for the Escalation, the Mills Revive. Even though you encounter the target in, what's it called, Patient Zero, pretty early, that's pretty good, but you're kind of limited unless you want to kill everybody in the facility. You have to take them out fast. It's a very limiting map, and in the sense of the main target. The Icon, again limiting, that's why they're in the worst category, the horrible one. Next up, House Built on Sand and Freedom Training. Again, it's just because of the targets. I think Freedom Training is decent, probably passable or decent or functional, but we're ranking the target itself combined with the map. Again, next up is Flawed, and I think the Bruce Lee variant of Bangkok could have done better with the targets and with the placement. It's kind of limiting, but I don't know, it doesn't use half the map. They could have done better, I think. Or could have had, like, you know, the event take place in 2 different areas, or even outside somehow. I don't know if they can, but I don't know, just create more variants, because whenever it's Bangkok, it's always that area. We always go in that area. It's very repetitive. The functional variant ones are I'm beginning to like the targets here, or the maps themselves, or both. So it's a mix. So Three-Headed Serpent, I think, kind of fits here. It's hard enough, but the targets are decent enough. They move around enough. They have opportunities where they're alone. Enough opportunities where they're alone, that is. Same goes for Last Resort. I think Last Resort is a bit more restrictive, but I like the map better. That's why Last Resort is a bit higher. And the next category is Passable. The Arghh Society and Chasing a Ghost. I think maybe I could have put a Gilded Cage there as well, but the map in a Gilded Cage is a bit worse than Argh's the Isle of Gale and Mumbai. Yeah, so I think it fits. Next up is decent. Good maps, good targets, nothing to say. Cool, where it begins to say, like, this category means I like the map and I like the targets. Amazing, again, the map's amazing and the targets are decent and they move around decently enough, except for I guess New York, but New York is just a good map, good enough map, even though this target stays on there by themselves. I don't really like that. I think the target has like too many guards around as well. But yeah, it's I still somehow managed to make it work. That's why New York is amazing. And the best ones, again, Sapienza keeps coming back, Hokkaido keeps coming back, Nightcall keeps coming back when it comes to single target quality, especially. Another Life is definitely close to New York. I think if you don't like listening to tapes list finding evidence, then yeah, you can reverse these. But New York also has robbing the bank, so I guess it depends what you like more. You can switch the New York and Whittleton Creek um, maps and targets around. You might do it like this, perhaps, or just like this. But I just think Whittleton Creek is just a decent overall place. There's a lot to discover, a lot to find out. The clues themselves might, especially the first time you listen, you might like it. So next up is the atmosphere. So this is the atmosphere, just the atmosphere itself. If the map makes you afraid or just excited to play it, so this is the entire list. We'll go from the bottom. So the training levels obviously mean they're not bad, but they're missing real life sunlight and stuff like that. Technically, I don't know, you might still see blood, but it's supposed to be fake blood, whatever. Still, it's a good, a good place to start, I guess. So even though the icon has like a lot of explosions, a lot of stuff like that, it's just fluff. I don't really like it. It should be atmospheric, but somehow it falls flat for me. Possibly move. I would want to possibly move Shadows in the Water a bit higher as well, but so far I don't see why. Like, I like the look of the map. It should be more amazing, but I guess that soundtrack keeps repeating and dulling my senses whenever I hear it. The functional ones, I guess this soundtrack also is a bit annoying. The showstopper could be a bit better, I guess, but the atmosphere is better in Landslide than in Paris, the main level, that is. So I think I like the atmosphere of New York, the bank, but what it lacks, it doesn't have anything like, there's nothing surprising really. I think if they would have a bit more of a surprising, it would be cool. So next up we have Carpathian Mountains, the only category where Carpathian Mountains isn't at the end because of the atmosphere. It's snowing, there's a train, there's sounds. It's a bit repetitive, but at least there's something. So, and the veneer is also here. it's it's good. It starts being good essentially. A house built on sand, I think it has decent atmosphere because it's night, the lights and all that. Again, the author also at night. World of Tomorrow, it's not night, but it has, the map itself is good looking, and it's nice to be on it. Same goes for Garden Show. And now the ending, the best atmospheric maps, as you can see. Patient Zero, starting with Patient Zero, Death in the Family, On Top of the World, that's Dubai. This is Mendoza, The Farewell. Hokkaido, I think this is the only category Hokkaido isn't at the top, maybe. Because there's other Hokkaido maps that do it better, like the Snow Festival. So Berlin, decent atmosphere. Don't really like the soundtrack blowing in my ears that much, but the atmosphere of the map is pretty good. The Slim Shady variant of Hokkaido, pretty good as well. Amazing even. The Last Resort looks amazing, feels amazing. There's a weather change. There's swimming, there's water, there's a lot. Same goes for the Arghh Society. It's a castle. You really like to figure out this castle. It's cool. It has secrets. It has not secrets, but it has like hidden locations you can go to. It's really cool. The Snow Festival looks great, and it's just a better version of Hokkaido. So that's why it's here. Holiday Hoarders. It's just Paris with Santa Claus in it. It's really cool. Night Call has one of the best atmospheres. That's why it's above Holiday Hoarders. And even above that is The Mills Revive, just because it has that scary feeling. It's really cool to be in a Halloween season and play this. It's really good. Hope you enjoyed these tier lists, and just tell me what you want to see